Well, we got another day of racing coming at you here in Sepang International Circuit. It's very much near KLIA, Kuala Lumpur's International Airport, but we're talking about the racing here. And after what we have seen in the Zakko series, we expect some big racing coming up here as we're getting ourselves ready for the Sepang 500 Tsuyo Series race to kick off the 2025 Hololive GT3 Japan Tsuyo Series season coming right up for you. We will be deciding the final champion of the Hololive GT3 Japan Series for the foreseeable future. So anyways, we'll be talking about the track map here, 5.5 kilometers of distance for each lap in Sepang. 15 corners in total, 46 laps. Target lap time, we've seen a 2:02 last time out. The 139 is a typo, it's supposed to be a 2:03. But anyways, we should be seeing 2:02s again as we are gonna see new racing action here this time for the Tsuyo Series field. And also to add that this is the final race for the well, it was the final race for the Murasaki Shion Honda yesterday. But for today, we have something else to talk about, and it is related to Otonosuke Kanade. So today is apparently Kanade's birthday, and of course Seirin is racing today in the Kanade number 59 Ferrari. So yeah, best birthday wishes to Otonosuke Kanade, despite her obsession of wanting to mock people for having to go to school / work on a Monday, and she doesn't have to. But we'll talk about that later. Anyways, it's the first Tsuyo Zakko Series weekend for Hololive GT3 this year. Of course, this is the first of 4 rounds of the Tsuyo Series where we will decide who will make the Tsuyo and who will make the Zakko. Well, who will actually know for the Tsuyo is who we will decide who will be the Hololive GT3 champion, that is. But anyways, just wanted to double check if there's anything going on, because I think we missed out. I think we missed a few things here. So yeah, we were supposed to update a few things here in the qualifier standings, well, the Tsuyo Series standings. But I got a bit busy and tired at the same time, so we haven't been able to update as much as I can. So I would like to show you the Tsuyo Series drivers actually. So I'm going to wait I'm just going to open. Well, I want to show you the 10 drivers, or rather the 19 drivers that have qualified for the Tsuyo Series. Give me a second as I try to. Excuse me while I try to. Let me just check. Let me see. So we have 19 drivers who have made the Tsuyo Series after a long qualifying session, and of course this does not include Liu, who has not made his decision to not continue in the Tsuyo Series. And we also have a lot of new names on the grid. While I try to sort out the names. Excuse me while I try to sort out the field of drivers. This is not very fast. And I am just going to hang on. Yeah, just give me a good amount of time though, because hang on. All right, as I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something a bit different though. So here is the Tsuyo standings. Well, that was the standing from last time out. So here's the drivers who have qualified for the Tsuyo. I am doing updates live. So here are the names that will be competing in this season's Tsuyo Series, and you can see here there are some interesting names to be found. Most notably, we have new Daniel Barguer actually making the Tsuyo Series after a very tight after a very how do I put this? Man, I really can't find words as fast as I could. But the idea is Daniel Barguer has qualified for the Tsuyo Series for Hoshimachi Suisei, where all of his fellow, where the rest of his fellow Gen 0 drivers have failed. And then we also have Russian Karashu, who have won 2 races this season alongside Tyler Williams. They both won in Sugo and Okayama. Well, actually, no, only Karashu won in Sugo. Only Karashu won in Sugo and Okayama. Tyler's only won in Sugo. But you can see here, we also have new drivers in the field. I'm just gonna try to. I'm just gonna try to update the names here. Yes, I will have to delay the qualifying session as a result. So slight apologies for the slight delay. So we have Jace Kensai in the number 61 Sakani Loic Nissan. In the number 7 Lexus, it's Chaka Labradores, who will be the new driver. And in the incoming corner number 56, it's going to be no longer Sean Pauly driving the number 56 car after he has made his shock retirement announcement. So new driver Ozne Wizard will be taking his place. And with that being said, that should be all of the drivers here. We also have Rum Olgo, Misaki Sakura, Jake Martinez, Zeke Wimberly, It's Sky, and Seirin from Split A, and from Split B, Daniel Barguer, Airi Nakamura, Lorenzo, Ricci, Tyler Williams, Joshua Asahi, Joey Maverick DCM, Danilo Goyana, and Mohamed Shakib Reza making up the Tsuyo Series grid. Again, apologies for the scuffed up intro here. I just got up and yeah, I was tired from last night. It was a big party. So anyways, let's get ourselves into qualifying. My name is Mohamed Shakib Reza in the commentary booth. And we have some interesting developments here in the organization. And of course, we have 3 new drivers entering races in the Tsuyo Series, at least in Hololive GT3. So now we have the qualifying session underway. Finally. So first cars are not out as the qualifying sessions have properly begun. And of course, the first driver out on track is Rustin Caraccio in car number 39 in the Laplace Darkness Nissan. If you look at Caraccio's season up to this point, he did make the top 5 in the combined standings. He won both races in Suzuka and Okayama, but after that, he didn't score any points. He finished outside the top 15. So right now, consistency is going to be something to look out for the 39 Laplace Darkness Nissan. However, there's always things that aren't easy to modify and aren't easy to be manipulated. Fate can be very much a cruel mistress. Suquasho absolutely has to understand that. Also, I do notice that all of Hollox have also qualified for the Tsuyo Series, even with the departed Liu, presenting Sakamata Chloe. Rustin Caraccio, the new Takanori driver in J Skinsai, Joshua Asahi, and Sky, all making the Tsuyo. Another surprise entry is, of course, Daniel Barguer being the only Gen 0 driver to qualify for the Tsuyo Series, after being the only driver to qualify for the Tsuyo Cup in last season's Formula Hololive Japan Tsuyo Cup. As this is going to be saved, as this is actually Otono Sakanade's birthday, so we're going to go on board this Ferrari to see how the lap here goes for a driver here in Sepang. So again, you look into the final corner, you try to get that late apex so that you can push the throttle in very early, blasting yourself down into turn 1. But at a 75-meter board, looks like Saturn does have a lot of trust on the braking in this 296, and then first gear from turn 2, one of the tightest corners on the track, and then you can go flat out turn 3 if you follow the racing line. Coming to the uphill section, turn 4, right just about here, and then be very careful with the exit of turn 4 because it's an off-camera corner, easy to spin out the car. Turn 5, you can see here there's a lot of confidence on that, on the amount of steering that this Ferrari has. Sarin absolutely being very comfortable here. Oh, she goes off wide here, and that might actually disrupt her lap time a bit, if not outright deleting the lap time due to her going off track. Into turn 9, use the access road as reference for your braking zone into the hairpin. And you can see here she has to make an early upshift here in turn 10 to not bring too much speed, and into turn 11 braking turn at the same time. See how her time goes in second 2, and then turn 12, slight lift. 13 and 14, you brake and turn at the same time. Well, you also have to try to find a great exit off of turn 14 to set yourself up for the back straight, nearly 1 kilometer in length, as I mentioned in yesterday's stream. And into the final corner, again use the access road into the sun circuit as a reference for your braking, and then lead apex to the final corner, and that should be a lap here in Sepang, Hoshimachi. Also, fun fact, there's a lot of home drivers in these aero competitions. If you want to know, Sarian is of course one of them. Shaka Labradors has done pretty decently in his debut qualifying session for Natsuri Matsuri in his funky blue helmet, replacing the outgoing Johan Sinful, who have served aero competitions for 2 years. Kyle Williams, though, had a very arduous Donington Super Prix in Leicestershire before he had to immediately get back. Before he had to immediately get out of the track to make his flight from London Heathrow to Sepang. He just arrived here in like 6 p.m. around that time yesterday, and he's now raring to make amends here, but he's now down in 13th. Speaking of our drivers who have made a great qualifying session, Misaki Sakura first in that Himamori Luna Honda. Osnet Wizard in 6th place as he tries to get himself accustomed to the Inugami Korone Honda, being the emergency replacement for Hawaja Masur, who was supposed to race here in aero competitions, especially today and right now, but has been declared unfit to race due to his declining mental health. And looking into the rest of the field here, about the new drivers here, Jace Kinsai doing pretty okay in 8th place in that Nissan GTR on that Tokanori number 61. Three minutes to go before we finish off this qualifying session. Yes, if you are Japanese, I apologize if I have to commentate in English, because I don't want to risk using bad Japanese to commentate on the races. I apologize. I am sorry for this matter. If there are any Japanese people, please let me know in the comments. Any Japanese, please tell me in the comments just to... Oh, and speaking of which, the Wembley in the Shirokami Fubuki number 22 Nissan up there in the... And also we have seen better performances from the Nissan as well. But yeah, this is what we mentioned from last race or yesterday's race. The Honda's absolutely being the star of the show, but not before we see Jake Martinez actually scoring pole position in the Hyodoshi Ao number 05. This is as close as he can get for having a home race in Hololive GT3, and he's now set the fastest first sector. And Jake Martinez is absolutely on a charge. Right now, will there be any improvements? Because he now currently has to face competition, and by that I mean lap cars, from both Shaki Freza and Rustin Caraccio. And that's a very good exit though from Martinez. One really wants hopes that Chucky Reza gets out of the way, but he doesn't get out of the way, so he will not be improving on his lap time. Another driver who has definitely been in the races in recent times is, of course, coming to the exit of turn 9. He has not found any time as we are now coming to the end of this qualifying session. Misaki Sakura will not make any further attempt to continue this qualifying session with her starting second. We have no idea if Nakamura is gonna find any improvement on the lap times. We don't know if Asahi will find any improvements on his lap times, but right now the Hondas are currently showing what they've got. And also a bit of a surprise, their Kyle Williams down in 18th, Daniel Barguer 15th, Rim Walgor, who finished runners-up in the 2024 Tsuyo Series, is now currently in 16th. Joshua Asahi finished his qualifying lap. A lot of drivers have finished their qualifying lap. Lorenzo Ricci will not find any improvement. 17th. Saren down at the back of the field. We'll need to think of a smart field strategy if she wants to bring home a good result, because that's where the advantage of the Ferrari comes from. Will we see any improvements from Daniel Barguer in the Hoshimachi Suisei number 41 Nissan? Labrador is doing pretty decently in his debut qualifying session, and he now comes into the pit, so we will not consider his attempts any further. Jack Labradores will see no improvement. Kyle Williams, not having a great weekend so far, haven't been at the races. And he sees no improvement. Zeke Wimberley goes up into 6th place. Also Joey Doe down in 14th place in the Jufute Rider number 67 Lexus. Comes into the pits, no improvements from their end, and I believe that is gonna be it for this qualifying session. And Maverick UCM is not gonna find any improvement. Congratulations to Jake Martinez. Pole position for the Hirodoshi Ao number 05 Ford Mustang. Alright, so with that being said, I really don't have a lot to talk about though. The Ford Mustangs have shown great pace here and might just be the challenger to the Honda NSX. Jake Martinez having a very good season though. It's a massive shock here to say the least. But anyways, let's take a look at the starting lineup here for the Sepang 500 Tsuyo Series race. So we got Jake Martinez currently on the pole position spot for Ao. Misaki Sakura recording her best ever qualifying session for Himamori Luna. You might want to argue this is why Sharon Rizzo wanted to find a worthy successor. Right now she's living up to the hype. Airi Nakamura starts third for Akai Haato with Joshua Asahi for Fuhakuri Koiri. Maverick DCM starts fifth for Omar Polka, from almost not making it to Tsuyo Series to now starting off pretty well here with that Nissan being inside the top 5. Zeke Wimberley 6 for Sherkan Fubuki, with 2 Filipinos making up 7 and 8 with Danilo Goyena for Usar Pecora, and Austin Wizard on his first start in aero competitions for Inugami Korone. Jace Kansai in his aero debut will also start 9 for Kenny with Rustin Crossio, 10 for Laplace Darkness. And then we've got Momoshiki Resta 11 for Momosu Zunine, with 12th place Chaka Labradores for Natsuya Matsuri, with Joey 13 for Jufute Raden, and Sky 14th in for Kazamai Roha, Daniel Barguer 15 for Hoshimachi Suisei, Rim Olgor 16 for Ozora Subaru, with 17 Lorenzo Ricci for Hosha Marine, Tal Williams 18 for Amane Kanata, and Saren will start 19th in for the birthday girls race, Autonate Kanade. Alright, so a few things to talk about. So we got the race coming up. We got 19 cars lined up on the grid. And as you can see here, Jake Martinez starting on pole position. We have actually seen this before in Autopolis, and we will be seeing it again, and have seen it again in Sepang, as the 19 cars line up for the Tsuyo Series start of the 25 season. Who will be crowned the final Hololive GT3 Japan Series champion, as we will be reducing the series to just individual races after Suzuka in August. So that being said, we got Jake Martinez on pole position, Misaki Sakura in second as the 5 red lights go out. Will Jake Martinez find win number 2 for Houshou, or will Misaki Sakura find win number 1 for her in aero competition? We'll have to wait and see, as Jake Martinez has a very great start here, and that is actually Airi Nakamura beating Misaki Sakura at the start, as the drivers now get themselves very well there, and it's going to be Airi Nakamura to actually outbraking Jake Martinez. Sayre having a great start, and Rustin Kurasho gets spun round. Oh, that's not a great start here for the Lapis Darkness number 39, as he tries to get himself back out on the track with serious damage. It's going to be Airi Nakamura leading Sakura, Martinez 3rd, Duciem 4th, Asahi 5th, Goyena 6th, Wimberley 7th, Shaki Reza 8th, as there's going to be lots of side-by-side action, especially looking at Sakura and Duciem starting from 2nd. That's not a great run from her, as now it's going to be Nakamura absolutely blitzing the field, as well, I really can't tell what is happening with the oh, and as you can see, just Asahi trying to make his luck against Maverick Duciem, and here comes the start line vote for the Kyoto Show number 05. It's very much a normal occurrence, where the hour number 05 has shown great pace in qualifying, but in the races, this is where the car starts to fall apart, and this is where it is. And so anyways, Chaka is absolutely excited to in the prospect of racing in aero competition. Meanwhile, we got Rim Olver and Tyler Williams going side by side into turn 12, into turn 13, 14. That's almost contact between the 40 and the 57. As you can see, Williams is desperately trying his luck to stay in his position, and he is now in 17th. But that's a poor exit from Williams, but he does have the straight line speed to make up for it. Meanwhile, Ed Sky now trying to challenge himself against Sayre, who has an absolutely blitzing start from last on the grid to 15th. Nakamura now ahead of Martinez by 3.3 seconds as we now start lap 2 here in Sepang. We still have Osne Wizard and Zeke Wimberley going toe-to-toe, two Hololive Gamers drivers. We've seen this with Goodwin and Antanarov yesterday. We're now seeing it with Osne Wizard and Daniel Goyana today, as they are not battling themselves out. Here's Chaka Labradoris trying to defend against Daniel Barguer. Daniel Barguer trying to cause all sorts of trouble to Chaka. And who will be the last of the late breakers into turn 4? Remember, it's the outside line that is the advantageous line. And you can see it, both Barguer and Chaka still going side by side, but it's going to be Labradoris who's going to be on top of this battle, as he's now up into 12th. And now Martinez shows his tire warming up skills, and he has now warmed up his tires to the point where he has absolutely got his tires reactivated. Lorenzo Ricci and Sayre has overtaken Ty Williams once again after it was a back and forth between the two. Anyways, nice to see lots of people tuning in, at least for my standard. But anyways, you see here also was trying to his luck against Danilo Goyena this time, And then we get to see Joshua Sai having a great exit though against Maverick Duciem. Joshua Sai goes down the inside and tries to make this run against Duciem. And now Martinez has activated his car once again, and now he is on the hunt for lead race as Jake Martinez now sets the fastest lap. 2:04.9 for Nakamura, 2:03 for Jake Martinez. Man, this Hyodoshi number 05 is absolutely unpredictable. I mean, in 3 races, the car just hasn't been there, but in Autopolis and in Sepang, it is different. As you can see here, Williams have now beaten Seirin. Labradors and Barguer go at it between each other once again. As you can see here, Chaka tries to stay around the outside, but that now hasn't been working, and now he's about to be under pressure from Ed Sky. Also, Wizard now trying to go down the inside of Danilo Goyano, who has been struggling, though he's actually trying to make a move in the middle of turn 5. And that's been pretty ballsy to say the least. But anyways, race film monitor time. Lorenzo Ricci will be pitting the latest out of anyone. Same goes for Sakura. They will be going for the overcut. But as you've seen in yesterday's race, that hasn't worked to their advantage. Sarah will be running for 28 laps before she will be pitting. Jake Martinez will be pitting very, very soon. So that's probably the reason why he's currently blitzing on the racetrack, as we're going to move into this potential lead battle between Akai Haato's Airi Nakamura and Hyodoshi Ao's Jake Martinez. And that's a great run though from Martinez though, but will it be enough? The last time he won Luna number 31 won at Sepang. It was back in 2022 when Shazar and Reza did it in race 2. Or was that race 1? And since then, wins have mostly eluded, apart from 2 races in the Fuji postseason and in the Fuji 2023 race, Fuji postseason race. Moving to 2759, we are going to be seeing a massive charge from Martinez temporarily before he will be pitting later in this race as Seirin and Karajo now trade blows between each other. There's going to be Karajo who's going to fight back. Ricci and Williams though are also going to be on a charge between each other as Williams has dispatched Ricci. Karajo has done a decent job of trying to recover from his first lap spin. Oh yeah, speaking of which, home drivers talk. Airi Nakamura currently in the lead. And then we also have Shakif Reza in 9th. At Sky 14th. Seirin 18th. As we can see here, Jake Martinez trying to go down the inside against Nakamura. He tried to do so in turn 7 and in turn 8. But the Honda's straight line speed over the Mustangs is quick cornering speed. Quick cornering stability is giving all sorts of challenges. It's giving all sorts of challenges to Nakamura as Goyena and Austin Wizard go side by side. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be close here as Wizard now goes up into 6th place after strategically placing the car in the right position. Now here comes a very good exit though from Austin Wizard though. He is absolutely going to be on the charge here. If you know something actually, there has been a perceived lack of ambition and passion from Sean Pauli in the number 56 in his later phases for Inugami Coronade, but now we get to see some actual fight here in the Coronade number 56. That is Austin Wizard trying to make a charge from himself, for himself. And for the Coroners he's watching, Chakra slightly losing touch to Nakamura and Martinez. Joshua Asahi now on the charge. Joey now goes ahead of Daniel Barguer, who is now up in 11th place. Jake Martinez's call into the pits will come in very much soon, in 2 laps this time. So he is going to try to make it count, and he does kind of make it count against everyone except Nakamura, and that's not a great exit from Nakamura, as Martinez also doesn't have a great exit from turn 8, as Nakamura doesn't have a great exit from turn 7. So they're all going to essentially reel themselves back into Sakura, who has at least kept it on the track. So the race has calmed down faster than what we've seen in the Zako Series race. This Honda NSX is doing pretty decently, as Jake Martinez is now finally going to get called in. And here's Martinez trying to have a great exit, though. Check the onboards, and the onboards right now don't show that Martinez is actually closing in, so Martinez will be coming into the pits. We'll see where he will be exiting. Sakura will continue on the race as usual, as we're about to get into lap 6, 5 laps complete. .438 for Nakamura, 2:04.0 for Sakura, 2:06 for Asahi, 2:04.9 actually for DCM, who is now catching up to the rest of the pack. And Martinez will have to make another pit stop. Far end of the pits, far end of the pit lane actually, and that's a decent amount of damage from Shaka Reza from his contact with Rustin Horacio. Lap 6. Right now, Austin Wizard is also taking his claim to catching up to the top drivers on the field here. Wizard actually showing what he can do on that number 56 Inugami Korone Honda. Again, nice viewership in this stream so far, as Wizard. Yes, Wizard is actually a legit surname. There are at least 30 people named with Wizard as their surname in the United States. So it is a fair play to Austin Wizard. Of course, not bad trying to bring it on a new era for the Inugami Korone number 56. Again, there has been a case of non-committal from Sean Pauli in the later his later stints, in his later phases of his Inugami Korone stint, especially after he won in Okayama in Formula Hololive Japan. And since then, and since his Zako Cup loss, he has shown very much apathy from in-aero competitions, it seems, and has decided that in earlier this month, in April, like last week or so, he has decided to no longer pursue a seat in the number 56, no longer continue driving for Inugami Korone in aero competitions. And you can see Jet Sky now under pressure from Chaka at that time, now being overtaken by Tyler Williams, who is now absolutely having a decent race starting from the back. He's now up into 13th. Absolutely trying to gun for that driver of the day spot, Williams. And then that's Wizard and DCM now trading places. Now Wizard up into 4th place. It's now a Honda 1, 2, 3, 4. DCM has been trying all he can. now Guyana is gonna be in the hunt. And at this point, after this weekend, only 5 Honda NSXs remain in both splits. And now it's going to be Tyler Williams seeing out if he can make a move here. And that is pretty close here, all things considered, against the rest of the field here. Labrador's trying to have a great exit from Barguer, but that straight line speed at Nissan is just too good. Tyler Williams, meanwhile, is catching up. Peels down the inside of Johan Sinful. Oh well, not really. It's no longer Johan Sinful, but second Chaka Labrador. But Chaka has done a great job there in defending his 12th place spot. But for how much longer can he fend off Williams with that amount of engine power? And it's going to be Tyler Williams now up into 12th place, but it's not going to be Ed Sky now joining in on the fight down the inside into turn 1. And right into turn 2, it's going to be a case on the Googlings first. That guy now up into 13th. Labrador is not having a great race at the moment. Ricci not having a great race though after a stellar qualifying campaign, which also resulted in him grabbing his first win for Hoshimachi, and Hoshimachi seeing her first win in Hololive GT3 since Autopolis in 2022. Guyana now trying to make haste against Duciem. Zeke Wimberley also on the charge here. Jace Kinsai, meanwhile, is currently leading this train of cars, not catching up to Shakib Reza of any sorts. Martinez is 14 seconds behind Olgor. Well, if you want to talk about the story of this Hyundai number 05, ever since the end of the 6 Fast, Martinez's Hiroshi Ao has to essentially be on hiatus for a while due to suffering from a form of depression, and obviously get well soon for Ao. Meanwhile, as Joey has overtaken Jace Kinsai, expect a counter-attacking move here from Jace Kinsai. And yes, I do forget that Joey is also representing a Regos member. That's mostly that's mainly because my brain is hardwired to think that Lexus equals regular JP. But anyways, moving that out of the way, Joey have now made his mark to stay in 9th place as the best Lexus car. Jake Martinez now has the fastest lap, but he will have to make yet another pit stop. So it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, as Labradorus now gets up against Rustin Croccio once again. As Croccio gets dangerously close by coming to the corners. There is not much that Rustin Croccio can do. Very much back and forth session here in Sepang. Great exit from Labradorus, and will he be able to maintain that? As you can see here, Barguer now trying to make a move against Jace Kinsai, who doesn't have a great race pace. While Labradorus having to back off against Ed Sky, he got way too close. And here comes Croccio against Labradorus, and once again, as Chaka continues to stay up in 14th place. comes Hoshio down the inside against Labradors once again. And as you can see here, who's going to have a pretty good exit off of the final corner as... Nope, it is going to be Hoshio who is going to be moving ahead. So Labradors having an okay debut so far. Lost 2 positions at the start, but expect some comebacks here. I don't know. As Lorenzo Ricci is going to try to stake his claim inside the points. Jake Martinez once again has the fastest lap of the race, 2:02.369. Labradors this time defends this position with all he can. All goal meanwhile remaining pretty anonymous in 18th place. Goyena and Duciem trying their luck against each other. Nakamura and Sakura's gap have closed down, if you notice here, because it's now dropped down to 2.6 seconds between the two. Ooh, meanwhile, Goyena has made his move against Duciem, and Duciem is going to try to fight back. You know, Duciem once again at turn 9. Just hasn't had the best things just yet. His placement is least much to be desired as he now has to concede 6th place to run 5th place to Guyana. Sakura running in 2nd place. Williams currently running in 12th. We are going to be seeing the rest of the field, especially in the back, see how it is from Lorenzo's point of view. Martinez is going to get called into his once again. And as you can see here, Sakura is now almost a second faster than Nakamura. Nakamura doesn't have the pace. Pace isn't starting to show once again. If you look at the strategies here, Nakamura actually is on undercut strategy rather than Sakura, who's going to go for an overcut strategy. So already we get to see strategic variance between the two. Lost a good amount of time though on turns 5 and 6, but Nakamura, if you look at this with this part as well, is in the high-speed corner exit where it seems to me that Sakura has just been struggling, and also at the same time there's also the issue of turns 7 and turn 8. That is where both of the cars also seem to struggle. Seconds now separate between Nakamura and Sakura, as now Nakamura has upped the tempo. So that's Ricci and Seiren now on the temper half between each other in turns 6 and turns 9, as now we can see Seiren now up into 16th place. Trainer car still being a point of contention. Exiting the final corner, has to check up those Seiren. Meanwhile, Ricci slightly closing in. But Ricci think he'll go down the inside. Yes, he does. Using severe exit speed on that Lexus to good effect. Seiren will have to try to defend around the outside. Seiren doing a pretty decent job here on that number 59 kind of machine. As Lorenzo Ricci now goes down the inside. But you can see here Seiren just continues to defend with all she can. Around the outside, and then in the inside turn 2, very much knows how to keep her car planted. got tires. Nakamura continues to pull away from Sakura. 4 seconds, the gap now between the two. You know, compared to last race, it is more competitive, at least when it comes to basic optics. Lap 12, and it's still Nakamura under control. And also great progression from Tyler Williams to essentially put him in contention for the win here. Tyler Williams trying to get a good exit off the turn 14, trying to find something. And meanwhile, Labrador is trying to get a good exit off of Rustin Ferraccio. Marina Ferraccio has now pulled away. And now Sakura is about to get pressure from Yoshi Asahi in that number 54 Hakuri Koyori Honda. Not even in the halfway stage just yet. We still got lots of this race to go. And I can see Sky now thinking going side by side with Williams and has to back off there because he's not in the racing line. Williams though trying to get closer. Ooh, and he's gonna try to have a look there. Turn 7, turn 8. Williams, he is very good in the corners. But right now, it's just Williams. Still stuck behind Barguer. Very good defensive driving from the Hoshimachi. Sakura's gap to Nakamura has closed down once again. Martinez has made his pit stop. And Martinez will be good for the rest of the race. However, he is 53 seconds behind. Nakamura is in turn 1 right now. So we will have... Okay, just want to remind everyone that we'll be taking a slight break. Right here. So we will have a commentary break. We will be coming back in 5 minutes. So enjoy. In the meantime, enjoy this battle between Barguer and Williams. So, anyways, stay tuned and don't go anywhere. back in Sepang International Circuit, and we have an interesting development here as now Olgor and Saren have traded places between each other. Still nice to see lots of people tuning in here. Meanwhile, we got Williams though, who haven't been making inroads against Barguer, but Sakura meanwhile has made a lot of progress against Airi Nakamura. She wants to associate herself with success, and she really means it. When she doesn't have a great result, she will absolutely question what's going on. And when she's on top, she's on top. And that is exactly the mentality that the previous driver, Mohammad Shazan Reza, has been looking for when trying to find his replacement. And now Misaki Sakura trying to live up to expectations, well, not really expectations, but the general idea of a Himamori Luna Honda driver. So anyways, I was just checking in on some people, and right now they're doing okay. Joey is now coming into the pits. Daniel Barguer has now starting to crumble under pressure here. As now Tyler Williams is now on the outside line, as Daniel Barguer will try to defend on the inside. Talk about Sakura and Nakamura later, as both of them still go toe-to-toe between each other. Tyler Williams almost door slamming Barguer, and ooh, that's very messy, sending him into off the track as Jace Kensai and Joey come into the pits. The battle in this midfield is still firing up here. Tyler Williams might have a chance to score 6th or 5th, depending on the circumstance. We want Osne Wizard. It was looking for a move against Asahi, but Asahi has done very well to defend. Kensai having a pretty long pit stop based on what I'm seeing here. Also Wizard and Tyler Williams now coming into the pit, will be coming into the pits as well. Jace Kensai will not go through the rest of the race here. He will have to pit again. Same goes for Joey. Meanwhile, Saren and Olgo trade places between each other, as now both of them are going to go neck and neck into turn 9. Meanwhile, here's Wimberly staying in 7th place. I really do want to explain a bit, because Wimberly has been one of the young drivers, but has been also one of the most experienced. Basically, I want to call him the Air Roses Max Verstappen, but he hasn't been winning all the time, so. Well, except when he's in the Sarah's Fauna number 98. But anyways, Osne Wizard now comes into the pits. It will be a pretty long service, and that means he will be good until the end of the race. Tyler Williams will be has already come into his pit stop box now, and he will be coming in, and he will not be fuel until the end of the race as well. As well as Jace Kensai. Not sure what's happening to the Nissans. For these drivers, Williams has had a great run. So his closest rival will be Jace Kensai, who's currently running in 18th, as Tyler Williams now gets out. I don't think Tyler Williams has enough. He has to still serve that pit lane speed limit to avoid not being a penalty. And right now, Zeke Wimberly on the charge against Maverick 3CM, who's running in 5th. Sakura, meanwhile, absolutely on the charge here, trying to get ever so closer to Nakamura, two female drivers in aero competitions. Currently inside the top 2 spots. Nakamura already having a win here, only setting a 2:06.5 as Sakura said it's a 2:04.84. And now Joshua Asahi comes in for his service. Again, if I haven't told you the story of Joshua Asahi, it's time I tell you the story of him, of how he came to be. He is the definition of an assistant, and obviously, he wants to embody the spirit of Kakui Koyori as also Wizard now stays ahead of Wizard, and Seirin tries to stay ahead of Rib Olgor, but the final gearing on that Ferrari just hasn't been very kind to Seirin. Meanwhile, we got Wizard almost getting shuffled. There's a lot of side-by-side action. That's Joshua Asahi exiting just behind, just ahead of Labradors, but Labradors manages to pass Asahi. So if you want to hit this early, then this is the risk that you're going to have to carry. If you want to do an undercut strategy, you need to have open space, and right now if you don't have open space, you're not going to be using your undercut strategy to your advantage, as Ricci now has to back off against Wizard. Olgor against Seirin once again. Seirin's going to go down the inside to turn 7 and 8. Will have to push Olgor slightly wide, but gives him enough room. Meanwhile, Labradors and Asahi thought about having a battle, but not yet at least. Well, Wizard and Olgor now trade places between each other, but it's going to be also Wizard who has the warmer tires at the moment, and he is trying to push the boundaries of what's possible on the track, and by that I mean trying to extend his limits on the track. But yeah, he's done very well to get himself back to 13th place. Wizard and Asahi in a battle of their own. And a fun fact to report: Airi Nakamura, 5 laps of fuel remaining. Sakura, only 17 laps of fuel. As Olgor and Ricci trade blows once again, and Ricci and Olgor are gonna try to trade places between each other. 2 of the best Lexus drivers in aero competitions, in Hololive GT3 that is. And Ricci has done very well to make that move around the outside. A great exit too. Shaka Reza now comes into the pits. His nearest rival will be Jace Kinsai. And a dive bomb down the inside, this time for Lorenzo Ricci, and meanwhile also Wizard against the birthday girl of Otto Sekande is Seirin. Seirin has no response on that one. She will have to let Wizard go. Oh, that's a great start run for my Sky, though. He's going to probably try to make a move down the inside of Daniel Barguer at turn 7. Has to force Barguer into the defensive, as Sky at least tried to spook Barguer. Meanwhile, Joshua Asahi against Chaka Labradors. Labradors has no response on that one. Wizard has a response against, had a response against Seirin, but meanwhile, it's still stalemate between Ricci and Olgor. Ricci and Olgor, and meanwhile Labrador stays ahead of Asahi. Nakamura comes into the pit. Misaki Sakura is going to be set to lead her first laps in the Himori Luna number 31 Honda. Asahi now moves up into 9th. now we got Nakamura exiting their field back in 5th place. Gaps between the leader and Nakamura only around 40 seconds. 40 plus seconds, or rather 45 seconds, and that is the pit stop delta. Houshou comes into the pits to get his car serviced. Meanwhile, Seirin and Alternate Wizard still go toe to toe with all these pit stop cycles. Now Seirin now is in 10th place, still defending against a fast charging Wizard. And Seirin is doing a pretty decent job in the field right now. Houshou will be exiting in last place behind Jake Martinez of sorts, and who I've also caught up with Kyle Williams. Very interesting stuff here. Here on board Jake Martinez and Sky, meanwhile, on the charge against Daniel Barguer once again. The Iroha versus Suisei battle has can I say it's reached a fever pitch, but right now it is doing pretty decently though. As you can see here, Daniel Barguer now goes around the outside though to make his move back up into 6th. Nakamura meanwhile is crossing the line to see if she's... Oh, and that's Seirin though, and I think she has went off at the final corner. We'll check the slight replays again, see what happened. So here are the replays here. This will be a quick check here because a replay essentially means that we'll have to pause the race temporarily. Oh, that is a very mean block by Chakalaba. He made a last-minute decision to come into the pits, and you saw that this Seirin just having a very messy exit as a result. As Salvadores now comes into the pits, he has some opponents to look into. Shaka Reza will be clearing. Sky, meanwhile, trying to have a response against Barguer, but Barguer is not going to be on the charge. Duciam no goes up at the 3rd. And Labradores comes out in 18th place. Rustin Houshou barreling down on the main straight. Chaka might just be ahead of Houshou. Who started in the midfield, now mired at the back after his lap 1 incident with Shakib Reza. Martinez is the only driver who will make 2 stops in this race at least. Meanwhile, Seirin continues to be in control in that number 59 Kanade machine. Meanwhile, Sky currently in 7th place, still trying to find a way past Barguer, who have been pretty okay so far. Usually the laps are now currently in the 205s and 206 ranges. Duciam now comes into the pits. We will put Zeke Wimberly in 3rd place. Sakura cannot believe this, the circumstances, but she is gonna have to take it because this is the these are the general expectations for the Himori Luna number 31 team. Association with wins, has been one of the most successful VTubers in ARO competitions. Of course, spearheaded by Mahashaz and Reza between 2022 and 2024. In 2020, and now after bringing in Lotus from in like late 2024, it's going to be Misaki Sakura that essentially takes over. And the gap between Goyen, Sakura and Nakamura are around at 39 seconds. But if Sakura can spend less time in the pits, then this will absolutely benefit the Himori Luna cause. Gap's now closed down to 38 seconds. It's going to be Sakura only with a 2:05.5. Nakamura catching up to Sakura for her second win of the season, and for Honda's third win overall. Of course, Honda having kicked off their season in the best way possible with Crystal Salman winning in Sepang. Saren, meanwhile, absolutely chasing down Rim Olga, and that's a very good exit. We are going to go on board Saren. But the straight line speed of that Ferrari just hasn't been very kind to Saren here. And yes, Sakura cannot believe this the situation. She is leading. But as you can see here, the gaps between Sakura and Nakamura have now opened up back into 40 seconds. And that is the pit stop delta. And so right now Sakura needs to find pace and or hope that Nakamura doesn't find any. And as you can see here, it's now dropped down to 39, around 40 seconds still. Man, this is going to be very tense here. Sakura still has 13 laps of field to go. She is committing to a very an overcut strategy. Sakura, possibly in her head, she's thinking that all right, I have this lead. But right now we still have half the race to go as we're about to cross the line to finish lap 23. We're about to finish the halfway stage in the Sepang 500 Tsuyo Series race, which has provided us with lots of consistent racing here. Sarah now goes down the inside. Absolutely comfortable overtake at turn 7 and 8 against Remolgor. It's an absolute beast in the corners, but on the straights, this is where the car has been found wanting. But if I were you, I wouldn't look now though if I were Sakura, because Nakamura have brought down the delta back to 39 seconds. And right now, it's 30. Not exactly. Zeke Wimberly now comes into the pits. Nakamura will cross the line. Will make her move. And right now we do want to check though if on the timing delta here, and right now it is only around. Yep, Nakamura is faster than Sakura right now, but Sakura should have the late race advantage when she does pit around lap 37 or 36 or something, and she will have 10 laps of those fresh tires compared to Nakamura's worn out tires. Wimberly, Barguer, and Sky have now come in for their pit stop. Jace Kinsai has almost overtaken by Martinez, and that's gonna mess up his line. Zeke Wimberly will stay ahead. Daniel Barguer still inside the pit box. Jace Kinsai will stay ahead of both Sky and Barguer, but not before Martinez brings something on the table. Almost locks up the front, almost kind of locks up the front right. stays around the outside to defend his position. Number 4, Kinsai makes his run. Round the outside he goes. Nakamura's gap to Goyena down to 36 seconds. 2:05.647 for Sakura as her tires wane even more and more. But while she is leading right now, there's a great chance that she will, and I mean she will, lose out to Nakamura, as the delta is absolutely in Nakamura's favor. Williams now stays in 15th place after having a not so good qualifying session by his standards. He now only gets to score 1 point, but right now he is aiming high against Kinsai, who was running inside 9th and 10th. But remember, there are drivers who have yet to make pit stops. Seirin has now made her move into the pit lane right now. Seirin has started at the back, and right now we will see on where she ends up regardless. Williams in 15th, Carrascio in 18th. Trying to find a way past Labradores. Barguer down in last place. Seirin finally goes out. And she is going to see some challenge from Sky potentially. And she manages to exit right behind both Labradores and Carrascio as both of them make contact as they both understeer into turn 1. Seirin now in 18th place. She has the ability to make overtakes when it mattered most. Nakamura 35 seconds behind Sakura, well within the pit stop delta required for Nakamura to stay in the race lead. Oh, and that's Seirin now immediately making her move with her fresh tires against Chaka. And now Seirin up into 17th place, now also trying to find a way past Carrascio. Honda's currently occupy the top 5 positions, and even with all the Ricci pitting, it will still be the case. Well, not that they are inside top 5 Ricci, they are going to be running a very aggressive overcut strategy. 34 seconds now. Nakamura and Sakura, while Martinez and Joey are in this read-loss battle. Though you get to see Joey having a decent exit off of the final corner to potentially stay within touching distance of Martinez, but the Lexus has no response. Got 25 laps complete. We're about to get into 20 laps to go, and it's still a very interesting contest here. And and by the way, if you are Sakura, don't lose hope in this one, because by the time Sakura has to hit, Nakamura's pace will have diminished. Meanwhile, Kinsai's overtaken Tyler Williams. Barguer and Seirin go toe-to-toe between each other as Barguer now goes up into 17th place. Seirin now still has to defend. Seirin manages to defend her 17th place by virtue of staying in the outside line, turn 4. And Danilo Goyena now comes into the pits. One of the few remaining Honda NSXs that have made their pit stops. Nakamura sets a 2:04.7. Sakura only setting 2:05. She's losing a second a lap. Right now she is, Sakura is trying to gamble on this overcut strategy. And if she does get it right, then what a call that would be. Oh yeah, that's probably the reason why, because Sakura just continues to go off wide at turn 7, turn 8, which absolutely comes with a cause. Then Goyena exits and is now in 5th place. Right, gap dropped down to 33 seconds. Sakura has almost 0% chance to maintain the lead after she makes her pit stop, but she might have a serious tire advantage, and if she does manage to be within 8 to 9 seconds behind Nakamura, and assuming she does activate her tires pretty early, whoosh, 2:07.469. It's getting up there, but not quite there just yet. As Nakamura goes down into the final corner, we'll see how fast Nakamura is. Is she 2 seconds faster, or is she 3 seconds faster? Because it looks to me that she is already a second faster, at least. Scratch that, 2 seconds faster. Nakamura is on the hunt for that race lead. We got 27 laps, and it's still a pretty interesting affair as Alternate Wizard now catches up to Joshua Asahi for him to get into the podium positions, and that is a pretty worn out right side, but he is proceeding as usual. Oh, that's Lorenzo Ricci overtaken by Maverick UCM. UCM also on a target of his own, trying to get close to the Hondas. So Nakamura is expected to be 10 to 15 seconds behind Nakamura as it stands, but I feel like she should come into the pit lane sooner or later with Sakura as she manages to find lap time, or some lap time again, as she's now setting a 2:06.6. Well, you can see here how much her tires are absolutely screaming, as the tires basically say, okay, I've had enough, I really can't proceed anymore. But take nothing away from Sakura's performance though, absolutely close to deserving of a top draw performance. Lorenzo Ricci, meanwhile, trying to stay close to Duciem at the very least, as Duciem is trying to get close to Wim Olgor. Checkalabdors is in turn 10, Sakura is in turn 7 and turn 8, at least he keeps it on the racetrack. Nakamura is in turn 4, so no risk of lap cars this time by. Just shows you how close the competition is here. and that's Airi Nakamura though. This is a sign of the times though. This might be the sign that Nakamura's star is starting to give way, and this is where the hope comes for Sakura. Because I believe she has lost a second or two trying to actually going off in between turns 7 and 8. And right now we still have 3 drivers who have yet to make their pit stops. And that is actually... Wait, Sakura have already made her pit stop? Olgor and Ricci have yet to make their pit stops. No. Yes, Sakura has now come in. Sakura is now come in for her pit stop. It will now mean that Sakura will have 16 laps to catch back up to Airi. And this will be game on. Sakura is now back out on track, but I wouldn't call it lost hope just yet. Suisei coming across into the final corner. He will not challenge Sakura any further at this stage of the race. Nakamura now has the lead once again, but right now Sakura might need to find 18 seconds in like 16 laps if she wants to have a chance to win this her first ARO race. She did come close on a few occasions in other competitions in Formula Hololive. And now Sakura is a woman on a mission. If Sakura can set 203s and 204s consistently in the next 10 laps, then she will be able to catch up to Nakamura. And it will be a straight up fight for the lead. No lap car shenanigans, just raw racing. And as you can see here, way tidier in turn 7 and 8 compared to Nakamura, who already is struggling with tire wear. If you look at her tire life here, it's already 10 laps here. She's been using that time to attack, and right now she is showing signs of struggle of sorts. That is Nakamura on the background, and that is Misaki Sakura. Ooh, goes off track slightly. So Sakura should have the warmed up tires to finally mount a charge against a very promising Nakamura, who now sets a 204.377. And now it's Misaki Sakura's turn to give it a fight. Gap's currently at 18 seconds. Koreana's now caught up to Osne Wizard for a battle of the ages of sorts, as Orgor now comes into the pits. Ricci now comes into the pits as well. They will most likely occupy the back positions on the grid. Sarah may well trying to find a way past Daniel Barguer, and right now nothing comes of it at the moment. Jake Martinez has done very well to at least remain in 8th place. Nakamura, meanwhile, a great job on the start, and an even better job on the in the strategies of sorts. All three GP remain stationary. They both exit at the same time, so both of them will not be challenging each other. Chakaladores might have a chance to pass them. Yes, Labradores has passed Lorenzo Ricci and almost has a chance to overtake Olgor. Oh, it's not looking good though for Sakura, who haven't been finding pace on those tires. we'll see if the tire fall off will occur for Nakamura in the last stage of the race, but I fear, and I mean I fear, that it will come too little too late, as Nakamura still sets a 2:04. And what will be Sakura's response? A 2:03.887, good, but not enough. Sakura, meanwhile, is gonna have to continuously maintain this level of pace, but it also requires Nakamura to slow down considerably. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, trying to really bring that car in. Meanwhile, Goyena still trying to catch up to Osne Wizard, Jake Martinez currently against Shaka Breza, Labradorus against Saren, and Olgor trying to catch up as well, but this time he has fresher tires. And looking at that, Barguer, the front end is pretty much bent up. Oh, is it just me or has Nakamura actually gained time against Sakura? Ugh. And right now we also have Shaki Reza and Jake Martinez on their own battle. And it is a pretty interesting battle of sorts. And Shaki Reza trying to find a way past Martinez. Goyena meanwhile getting very close to Osne Wizard once again. Labradorus against Olgor. Olgor might just have a slight advantage later on, as Sakura only sets at 2:06. Oh dear. Meanwhile, oh, and that's Saren! That's Saren! Well, this is not a Sunday to remember, and this is not the birthday race to remember for the Otono Sakanade number 59, as we have our first incident in the Tsuyo Series, our first DNF. It's very much a troubled race here at the moment. As you can see here, Saren tries to go around the outside, though, against Daniel Barguer, and just went wide. Oh. Well, that is race over for Saren, as we're going to see the onboard. Oh, and that's just her just going off wide, trying to overtake. And that is her race over. No more her terrorizing us on Mondays. Well, she has a birthday screen to come up though, so. All gonna be a case of, oh, that is also Wizard making a mistake and almost hitting the side of Danilo Goyena. Goyena, unfortunately, he was able to read the situation absolutely superbly, and he now stays in 4th place. Nakamura staying in the lead absolutely comfortably. Sakura just could not find any pace on that second stint. Absolutely fuming at the moment. Again, she will ask questions to the pit crew and the race engineer for this race strategy, as is always the case. Sakura on a 204.325. Not what she needs at the moment. There's only 12 laps to go. It will require Nakamura absolutely falling off consistently if Sakura needs to have any chance to claw back the gap that Nakamura has built. Still lots to go here in this race. Still lots to talk about as Sakura continues to build a slight gap. Joey now comes into the pits to serve yet another pit stop. Jace Kinsai will also come in as well. And will this mean lapped cars? We'll have to wait and see. Because if it does mean lap cars, then it's going to be pretty awkward for Nakamura. And as you can see here, Nakamura has actually gained some time though on Sakura. Sakura's gained time on Nakamura. There's still some hope, and especially given that lap cars might be in the way. Nakamura is currently in the exit of turn 14. Joey exits the pits. Jace Kinsai is taking an awful lot of time in the pit stops right here, and not the debut race that he's looking for. And given that Nakamura is just exited the final corner, this means lapped cars. Lap cars are now a certainty here, as we're now coming into the final stages of the race. 12 laps to go here in the Sepang 500 Tsuyo Series race. Sakura with a 203.554. She has now put the hammer down. She's saving the best for last, and right on Nakamura is going to be found slightly wanting, and she is about to meet Jace Kinsai. And remember, no blue flag rules in the set of Corsa, and this means that the race for the race lead and for the win here in Sepang is now back on. Gap dropped down to 15 seconds, and this is by natural progression. And Airi Nakamura not comfortable though in turn 7 and 8. And she is catching ever so closer to Jace Kinsai. And right now Sakura, despite going on pretty wide though, she is more comfortable and faster in the turn 7 and turn 8. You can see how much time she's gained on that section alone. Meanwhile, Tyler Williams has to go to a pit for another pit stop here. Another few drivers who are also going to do the same thing. I think Tyler Williams is the last one. So more pit stops, more lap car shenanigans possibly coming up. That's Nakamura in the background. So she needs at least 1.5 seconds if she wants to get herself back into contention for this race win against Nakamura, who I believe half her tires get shot now. (204.943). If Sakura can set a 203.4 in the remaining few laps here, as Kinsai and Williams are now going to be joining in on this struggle for Nakamura. 204.068 for Nakamura, so it's still faster. But if Nakamura struggles behind lap traffic, then again, it's going to be wide open. Oh, Sakura is absolutely hoping for a miracle here. Sakura really is hinging on the hopes of these two drivers causing Nakamura trouble, and that's where it is right now. She's Tyler Williams, Jake Martinez, and Maverick Duciem do trade places right now, and it's going to be Martinez down in 7th place, Duciem 6. We'll see how Tyler Williams is performing though in the second sector, and looking into Tyler Williams right now. Jace Kinsai 45.3, Tyler Williams 45.4. Given that Nakamura usually does a 40-40 here, this will mean times being found. And you can see here the gap drop down to 14 seconds. It's not over yet. Not over by a long shot. Nakamura, Sakura hoping on giving, well, praying to whoever is above, and Tyler Williams, her fellow Gen 4 teammate, to cause trouble to Nakamura though. Nakamura, meanwhile, only has Zeke Wimberley and Chaka Labradores to depend on in this Tsuyo series, but they're not in the top battle. 204.6 for Nakamura, Sakura. And as you can see here, Williams and Kinsai are also going to be in the battle of their own. 15 seconds, now dropping down to 14. Sakura is going to be hoping for miracles. And by miracles, I mean Jace Kinsai and Tyler Williams blocking Nakamura's progression. But now they have found pace, though, the two Nissans. And if Nakamura does find pace, which he might find it anyway, if these two get into a racing battle, it's now dropped down to 13 seconds with 10 laps to go. The chips are down here. Oh, here comes Nakamura being blocked. But it looks like it's opened up just a bit again. 14 seconds. And Delta's absolutely telling their stories on their own here. A lot more people watching on what will be an interesting conclusion to the Sepang 500 Tsuyo Series race. And also Golden Week is about to start in Japan, so very nice to report. Might host weekday races as a result. And here's Tyler Williams making a move against Jace Kinsai, and that's gonna put them ever so closer to Nakamura. And that's Jace Kinsai going off wide. And now it's gonna be both of them going side by side, and both of them are gonna be blocking Nakamura's way. 9 laps to go. What are the odds that Nakamura is gonna get blocked? Jace Kinsai is gonna cause Nakamura some trouble as she has to back off a bit. Nakamura's gonna try again in turn 4. Will she make a move down the inside? No, she does not. She has to stand back against Kinsai. Look at the gaps as it continues to fall. 13 seconds. Actually, no, scratch that. That might actually go down to 12.9 over ahead of Ricci. Nakamura trying to find a way past, tries to stay off wide, and this is not what Nakamura needs. This is not what Nakamura wants. This is falling into the hands of Sakura, but will it be enough? As Sakura at least stays on the track, and as you can see how much Sakura finds that advantage here, 12.5 seconds. She is gaining half a second on that corner alone due to Nakamura's mistake. Nakamura will have to try again. .3 seconds now. Nakamura might think of a move down the inside. She is contemplating on it at least. But right now, she still has something in the tank. 206.954 for Nakamura. Sakura needs an absolutely sublime response from her if she wants to have any chance of winning this Sepang 500 race. 204.831. It's on. Tyler Williams have now raced ahead of the field. Jace Kensai is the last driver on the lead lap and the last driver on track. And Nakamura continues to get blocked. Nakamura, if she can find 2 seconds at least against Nakamura, then this means one thing. There will be a last lap battle around laps 45 and 46. Seconds now, the gap between Nakamura and Sakura. And here's Nakamura trying again, but this time she keeps it on the track. If she tries to make any silly moves on the track, then she's gonna lose even more time if she doesn't nail the pass. Oh, and nearly going to the back of Kensai, and that's gonna leave even more room for Sakura to find time. And you can see here from 10 seconds, it now drops down to 9 seconds. Almost, but you get the idea. Yes, it's now dropped down to 9 seconds. Nakamura might think of a move around the outside and goes on to it and causing a lot of trouble to Jace Kensai. But Jace Kensai should have the straight line speed. Nakamura had to make the pass. And made the pass she did. Could this be the end of the race? But who knows, Jace Kensai might have a great exit off of that final corner, and with the aid of that VR38 DETT, Nakamura is now unleashed once again. Nakamura has turn 1 covered, so right now it's going to be back to the status quo. It was a valiant effort from Nakamura to get closer and closer, but it just hasn't been the case here with 7 laps to go. But there's still Tyler Williams. But of course this will also mean that Sakura will have to pass Jace Kensai. Lap 40, and it's still Nakamura in control this time. As Nakamura now pulls away from Jace. Nakamura is going to be expected to meet Tyler Williams in around 1.5 laps time, but the gap I believe is going to be too great for Sakura to mount a charge once again. Nakamura is in a serious position to bring home what should be a very solid performance. Lorenzo Ricci almost set to finish 15th, all go 14th, Labrador's 13th. Here's Nakamura closer and closer to Tyler Williams. And you can see how much the gap has opened. Barguer in 12th, and then Labrador, and then Russian Houshou in 11, doing a pretty decent job to get himself a comeback. And also, I think that's why the Barguer had that front end damage. Sakura over 205.994. She has regressed a bit. I think this race is under Airi Nakamura's is for the taking. and Akai will stay in 9th and 10th as it stands. Momashaki Reza will kick off the Tsuyo Series campaign in 8th. Duciem in 7th, over down there. Jake Martinez, meanwhile, kudos to him though. He started on pole, had the fastest car, but pit stop cycles and all that stuff prevented him from getting any further. And then we got the Hondas here. Austin Wizard on his debut has done a very good job filling in the shoes of a great racing driver of Sean Pauli. And right now, we are about to make this thing a certainty. You know, Sakura's not going to be happy about this decision. Martinez, though, is about to get closer to Austin. Wizard is going to try to break down the Honda monopoly in the top 5. Jake Martinez, despite Yodoshi Al's absence in recent times, is going to try to give his all. And yes, Nakamura will finish the race as it stands. 260.83 for Nakamura. Sakura not having the response that she needs. Both of them will be setting 206s. Or rather, Sakura setting 205.549. But here's Tyler Williams. Here is Airi Nakamura. Trying again, he is at least 0.6 of a second faster than Austin Wizard. Kyle Williams in turn 9, right about now. Around 5 seconds is the gap between Nakamura and Tyler Williams as far as relativity is concerned. So right now it all comes down to whether or not each of these drivers will survive these next few laps, which everyone will. Also Wizard meanwhile trying to defend against Jake Martinez in the latter stages of the Sepang 500. Oh, and that's Austin Wizard trying to go around the outside of Jake Martinez. Nakamura 205.224 manages to find a response to Sakura's gaining lap times. Airi Nakamura not gaining much inroads on Tyler Williams. This would mean that Nakamura is about to be home free for what should be her second win of the season, which will put Akai Haato as one of the most successful, actually, drivers in ARO competitions. Akai Haato, the most successful VTuber in ARO competition. As the timing towers get updated, Sakura still trying to find something against Nakamura and Jace Kinsai. Airi Airi Nakamura is actually losing a good amount of time to Tyler Williams, though I do notice. Martinez is now gone up to 5th against Osne Wizard. So we will have to update the standings as it stands. Yes, it is. That will be the case. Meanwhile, Joshua Asahi enjoyed Daniel Goyena on a joust for the final podium positions. 3 laps to go, and it's almost going to be it's almost going to be a win for almost going to be a certified win for just checking on the situation here. This will most likely be Honda's win number 27 and 28 respectively of Chris Salman and Airi Nakamura if results stand at the moment. It will be, as it stands, Akai Haato's 5th win in Hololive GT3, which has been very electric way to start off the Tsuyo Series for this season. With a few laps to go, we still have a few things to wrap up. Goyena in 4th, still trying to catch up to Joshua Asahi, looking for his podium for Hakui Koyori. Joshua Asahi did finish as high as 4th in Sportsline Sugo earlier this season, but he is looking for his first podium. The assistant who dresses up like Hakui Koyori in order to be closer to his Oshi. Airi Nakamura still having a decent amount of pace here. 8 seconds to 9 is the gap between the two, and I doubt that Nakamura is going to be able to choke this win away pending any silly mistakes. Slight so again, take nothing away from both Nakamura and Martinez. They've done absolutely amazing job on their races. Meanwhile, we do have to want to focus our attention to these two, as this might be where we might see the final battles occur on the racetrack, unless something crazy happens to Nakamura. Nakamura only having the back straight and the final corner to go before she will start the final lap of this race. So Nakamura is about to start her final lap here in the lead of the race. A Malaysian registered driver on Malaysian soil, winning here in Sepang. The last time we have seen this in Hololive GT3. Kizuhara, actually no, it's not. Well, Shango actually. Shango winning for Ichishirika. That was the last time a Malaysian has won here in Sepang, but now Nakamura is going to be joining those names. Infinite potential there for the Airi Nakamura, for the Akai Haato number 81. Airi Nakamura may have been quiet, someone who wants to try out everything. Well, Labradores has now made the last lap pass on Rem Olgor for 13th place. Nakamura just needs to nail these final few corners despite going off wide, and that is very, very suspicious. I think she may not have too much of an issue here. Has to absolutely take it absolutely squarely here due to the lack of tires. She is slowing down considerably, but I don't think that might be too much of a problem. Oh, she went up very wide there off of turn 12. Complacency might be on the cards. Ooh, that's very, very risky though. Oh, Nakamura is not having a very comfortable run on the final lap though, but I think if she is able to nail down the final lap and this braking zone and the acceleration, she's not gonna have any more problems. What a scare that was on the final lap, just like Hachima, giving us scares with her cooking. And around the final corner goes Airi Nakamura to kick off the Tsuyo Series season with a win. She wins the Tsuyo Series Sepang 500. Sakura has to settle for second. Not the win that she's looking for, but she has to at least take it with heads held high. As Asahi now is about to cross the line to finish on the podium for the first time in his career for Hakui Koiri. Guyana will have to settle for fourth. Martinez, starting from pole, has made a great race to climb back up into fifth place, absolutely taking people's breath away. Osne Wizard will finish on his debut race, 6th place for Inugami Korone. Maverick Duciem, the best Nissan, finishes in 7th. Second Rizza, another home driver, will have to defend against Zeke Wimberley on the final lap. And Shaki Reza finishing in 8th. That Sky, meanwhile, another Malaysian, he will be finishing in 10th. Also, Wizard, doing a pretty decent job in 6th. Grosho, coming back from his spin to finish in 11th, ahead of Daniel Barguer, who finishes in 12th. 13th place Labradors on his debut. Olgo 14th, Ricci 15th, Joey 16th, and Tyler Williams will be finishing off the field here. And with that being said, we will finish our proceedings right here. Let's take a look into race finishers, shall we? Airi Nakamura takes the championship lead away from Misaki Sakura in 2nd place. Joshua Sahi in 3rd for Hakui Koiri in his debut campaign, in his debut for it's a debut podium for Joshua Sahi in 3rd, Guyana 4th, Martinez 5th, Osnet Wizard 6th. Maverick Duciem will get his line in finish the line in the finish line in 7th place, with his fellow Gen 5 teammate finishing behind him in 8th. 9th place Zeke Wimberley and Ed Sky rounds out the top 10. Russian Karasho finishes 11th for Laplace Darkness, with Daniel Barguer 12th for Hoshimachi Suisei. And then third place, Chaka Labradorus, making a surprise run though in 13th. 14th is Rem Olgor, and 15th is Lorenzo Ricci in the number 6 Hoshimachi Marine Lexus. And then coming down into the non-points finishers, we will start with Joey, who has to make an extra pit stop, which absolutely ruins his chance. Tyler Williams caps off a pretty forgettable weekend of traveling, jet lag, and all that stuff for him to finish in 17th for Amani Kanata. And then we have Jace Kensai who finished 1 lap down. And then there's Seirin, who didn't even finish the race due to a moment where she actually went off wide and went into the gravel trap. So that should be it for the Tsuyo Series. So we will have to do a slight intermission here before we essentially close out the Hololive GT3 weekend. We still have Formula Hololive coming up later today, so just wanted to have a bit of silence here as we're just going to adjust the standings here. So fortunately I have some time to work on the championship standings by virtue of this one. So we will have to So the results for the championship standings after Sepang here, after the Sepang 500 Tsuyo Series race. So let's take a look here in the championship standings here. Airi Nakamura will take the championship lead away from Misaki Sakura, as I mentioned, away as we finish the race. Misaki Sakura second. And then we have Joshua Sahi third, Danilo Goyena fourth, and then Jake Martinez, Osne Wizard, and Maverick Duciem rounding up the top 7. And then Shakib Reza 8th, and also Zeke Wimberly 9th, and also Ed Sky rounding up the top 10. I do notice that some of the things may have seen overlap. And then also running out the rest of the field here, outside the top 10 finishers, we have the likes of just want to check Rustin Carrascio and Daniel Barguer in 11th and 12th. 13th place goes to Chaka Labradorus, and 14th goes to Rim Olgor, and Lorenzo Ricci rounds out the final points finishers. The 3 drivers who did finish the race but will credit as finished outside the points would be Joey, alongside Tyler Williams and Jace Kinsai. And alongside the 3 of them, we have one DNFer in this race, and that is Seirin for Otonose Kanade. Well, that's kind of what you get for mocking people for Mondays. Mocking people on Mondays by saying, oh, you have to go to school and work, and I don't have to. Ha 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 ha. Joke's on you. Well, joke's on her, at least in this race. But anyways, let's not back ourselves too much as we're going to finish the stream here. So thank you everyone for tuning into the stream. Nice to see everyone rallying in to watch the stream. If you enjoy the stream, you can drop a like. If you want to see more ARO racing, you can subscribe. And if you don't want to miss any more races coming out, and you want to be notified of any future races coming up, you can hit the notification bell. And speaking of which, in the next 6 hours, we will be racing in the Nürburgring for a morning race at the Eiffel Mountains for Split A of the Round 10 of Formula Hololive International at the Nürburgring Super Prix. So that being said, thank you everyone for tuning into the weekend here. And with that being said, We'll see you in the next few hours. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next race.